Hey aviation lovers, Joe here. This is an overview of the second flight I did in the Bristell NG5. Here we have an overview gathered by data using ForeFlight. It's really helpful, especially as a student pilot, to overview what you've done in the lesson before. This just gives me a great opportunity to see how my turns are progressing, see how my climbing is progressing, and just have an overall view of what you're doing in the sky mapped out for you. I had purchased a new headset, which was by Cadence. Pretty decent headset, not bad for the price.
Okay, pre-flight inspection was complete. Passenger crew brief.
I'm going to skip over this part just because you've seen it all before in the first video. Just going down the checklist, preparing the cockpit just for our engine start procedure. And the flight controls, making sure they're free and clear.
Propeller area clear.
So the Bristell has a built-in horn, which is a nice way to clear the area instead of sticking your head out and screaming clear.
And then power off. Oil pressure should be rising properly. So, yeah, please.
Here I was just asking the CFI to explain how I use the radio properly. I never really learned the system that well, so he's showing me now. Now, I made the choice to go paperless in this cockpit, so I'm using ForeFlight, and they have just a really nice layout for you already pre-built that you can write just your ATIS information, and that way it just keeps it neat. You can export it out. You have all your information laid out properly. I take a screen grab of it immediately after. That way you do have it stored. You can't like erase it by accident, and it's laid out much nicer than just a bunch of scribbling on a piece of paper, especially when you want to just get the flight started. Just taking down some taxiing information again in ForeFlight. So just again practicing my weak point, which was the radio calls. Just getting used to it. My taxiing is improving, which is great. Just getting used to those rudder pedals.
Parking brake set, so I'm fully on the brakes. Set. Pedals and harness adjusted, secure. Good to go. Canopy closed and locked.
So here you see me starting the flight log recording through ForeFlight. Just, again, such a great way to debrief yourself or with your CFI, depending on how you want to handle things.
I'm a little unclear of which way I should.
Okay, here's a takeoff. Nothing out of the ordinary on this takeoff. It was actually pretty smooth air that day. And now I'm flying out just to the practice area. Winds were calm, I believe no more than 6 knots. At this point, I think I'm becoming much more accustomed to how this plane operates, getting used to the systems, just getting a feel for the controls overall. Throttle is still something I'm getting used to. Again, it's this 25% of the top range that when you pull back on that throttle, there's a little bit of a delay. It feels in, I guess, that response there. And as you can see, the CFI is kind of helping me out with that throttle there. Just going through a in-flight check. Well, the CFI has the controls. Now I'm back on the controls. Again, just checking where we are in relation to the airport. I can't stress enough how helpful ForeFlight has been for me, just being able to see that GPS dot on my iPad. There is one right on the cockpit on the second screen, but it's a little far away and it's a little bit difficult to see. And that's it. We practiced a bunch of climbs and descents, and now we're in our final approach, landing here. Just getting a feel for the landing. I'm not on the controls, but I'm feeling the controls, as it is my only second flight. I gave him a little extra room there just because he had the flare. Overall, this was a great flight for me. I learned a lot. I got much more accustomed to just flying this plane. Alright guys, well, I will see you guys in the next one, where I will have a cockpit recording set up.
Cool.
See you guys later.
This is a beneficial flight.
Yeah. No, definitely.